Glenn Clark Radio, talking about the sports you do and don't know, both within and surrounding Baltimore. Don't ask him about preseason games, oh no, stuffing things in Griffin Basso. Despite it being on the internet, he can call it what he wants, so Glenn Clark Radio, Glenn Clark Radio, Glenn Clark Radio. Duke sucks.
I mean, Mauricio's game plan was, to give his second team basically a run, to give them a chance to prove themselves. And if that was his main goal with this game, then it's fine. It's fine. Obviously, I don't like losing, no matter when. For Turkey, it was really important to save their faces.
Yes.
Because obviously they're deeply disappointed because they lost to Paraguay and Australia, and they could not have flown home losing again. So for them, it worked out well then to get away with 3 points with the last game. But from Americans' perspective, if it was just meant to be a test and give the guys a run, all right, we'll take it that way. I mean, every coach would have done.
Yeah, that's Jurgen Klinsmann on ESPN after the U.S. lost 3-2 last night to Turkiye. I got to get that. One day I will. Turkiye.
She said it at the very beginning.
No, it's Turkiye in the final group stage match at the World Cup last night. And yeah, like I said it at some point on Twitter, I know better than to be worked up. I just do, because it was the B team and it was kind of a weird group of players playing together, but
God, Aronson looked terrible.
he really did.
He looked awful.
I don't know why they disappointed you. I just don't think that much of. I don't think he's a world-class player. I just don't. And
he's on Leeds.
Okay,
that's why I like.
Good. But you're a big
well
Leeds guy.
Yes.
Since when?
Since forever.
Why?
Because they're my team in FIFA.
What is? Good for you.
We've talked about this.
If we
talked about this yesterday, 2 days ago.
I did not talk about it.
Then 3 days ago.
No.
Every day of the show we've talked
about. That definitely did not occur. This is as feels as fake as your Wizards fandom. Of course, the
Neither
Wizards
of those are fake.
with their pick in the second round, they took
Felix Okpara.
Yeah, obviously,
my guy. I have his jersey already. Actually.
You knew that the entire time, of course. Definitely something that you were aware of. I can't get worked up about it. I still can feel like it was disappointing. This is one of those instances where it would have been a 2-2 victory for the U.S. had they been able to hold on, given the fact that they weren't really trying. And yet,
I would have taken a 3-2 victory, personally.
I would have taken a 3-0 victory. I would have taken lots of victories, but I would have handled a 2-2 victory. That would have been fine. It's just kind of crushing that you just gave that away. Now, when I say crushing, obviously there's no tangible impact of it. And it's the difficulty of having the conversation about there even being a match last night, because nothing about it actually mattered. I know Drew was trying to do the bit where it might not have mattered to the team, but it mattered to the players. Like, okay. And I know that they were, what's his face? Was it, who was on the call last night?
It was Stu.
I know it was Stu. Who does it?
John something?
John Strong.
Yeah, John Strong. Yes.
Like they were like, well, it's big for these players. Don't tell them it doesn't matter. Like, I get that. I understand what you're saying. It's like when we say, hey, don't tell the guys on the field that preseason football doesn't matter. They're trying to earn a job. We all know there's context. But nothing about the result matters in any way. It's just the sort of bummer of, hey, you were going in with that cock of the walk sweat. Like you were gonna be Obafemi strutting into the group stage or the knockout rounds.
Obafemi Ayambadejo?
No, I'd like. Well, maybe I don't know if
Yeah.
Femi did much of a strut. I don't remember that, but if he's learned one, you're gonna be doing that Obafemi strut right on out to Bosnia Herzegovina and Santa Clara, and you just sort of give a little bit of that away. And maybe that doesn't matter to anybody. Maybe they don't feel that at all. It's one of those. It's not tangible. I can't tell you that impacts any player on the team. It impacts us and the S-talking that we've been doing. Although, to be fair, Germany also lost. Does anybody think that means Germany can't win the World Cup?
I do, yeah.
Oh, you think it's over because
Yeah.
they lost to Ecuador? Just forget it. No way. They're going to be winning the World Cup. They're Germany, though. They're not the U.S. They're not trying to do something that,
Yeah, they lost a world war, so.
Right. Great point. I don't know. I'm trying to do everything in my power to not make anything of it. There were players that just weren't. I actually do kind of agree with some analysis that Drew had, which is, truth be told, nobody really stood out last night. Weston McKennie looked fine, but not as good as he had looked in the first two matches. Obviously, Berhalter scored a goal and assisted on the other one, but I thought on the whole he was just okay. I didn't think anybody was all that good. The defense was, of course, atrocious. But we were worried about the best defenders on the U.S. roster. I think last night is a good reminder of the difference between the United States and the actual powers in the world. Some of them have the ability to stick their next group of guys out there and genuinely still feel like they're better. Now, as I just pointed out, Germany did that because they had already clinched and they didn't win either. It's not all of them. Maybe the U.S. ultimately won't need many of those guys. I mean, some of these guys, Scally, that guy's not going to play. He's not going to play a meaningful minute.
Mm-hmm.
No. Oh, good God, no. Even Trusty, who scored.
I know, yeah. Trusty, he looked good. He looked good, I thought.
I don't think he looked all that good.
Well, because he got hurt at the end.
I don't think he looked all that good. I think he looked good scoring a goal. I think that's when he looked
He had the
good.
assist to Berhalter, didn't he?
Did he? I thought it. Did they both assist each other's goals?
I thought they did.
Is that really what happened? You might be right. I'm not gonna say it
I'll
didn't.
double check.
I thought he looked okay. At one point, when it got to 2-2, and I was thinking about them winning, like the possibility of them winning, I was like, hot damn. I'm gonna have to pick a man of the match. And I don't know if there is a man of the match in this match.
Berhalter's went unassisted.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
Yeah. Other way around. Berhalter had a goal and assist. Trusty just had the goal. Yeah.
That's true. I'm okay with blaming it on Matt Turner.
He's not good. Thank you, Andrew Stick. I always forget that Andrew's with us live when we do an afternoon show. We should just let him be an on-camera ombudsman. Why don't we ever think through that when we're doing an afternoon show?
Have
just
him,
have him
a
down
little,
in the corner of the screen to chime in when we screw something up. Like, I'm not going to interview him. I just want him to be there to be like, you don't know what you're talking about, dumbass. Anyway, I don't disagree with that. Matt Turner, he ain't it, Chief. Although I'm not sure that Matt Freese is either. That's kind of the problem.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that either one of them are it.
So should they have played Free? I don't know.
I don't know. This is the eternal what if somebody gets hurt. And I know that they put a couple of guys on at the end, and hell, they had Weston McKennie, who's one of the 4 most important players on the roster, was just out there. So I get that you can't just have no one play, but I don't know the answers. I don't know the answers. It was a bummer. It feels like you should have gotten a result. It was irrelevant, but at the same time, I don't think the U.S. is good enough to just be able to dismiss everything and feel as though there's nothing to it. All we can say is on. And by the way, it's absolutely for the best that there's a round of 32. that you don't, and I'm not trying to downplay Bosnia Herzegovina either. But I do think it's good that you don't go straight into Belgium, for example. I think it's nice that you kind of get to potentially ease into playing the world beaters, which is what this is going to take. And again, I don't think, as much as I joke about it and as much as I agree with someone who says, well, yeah, what's going on over there, huh? What you got going?
Just everything I wanted to play.
Right in the middle of a thought. I don't even know where I was going now. I thought that was you were actually trying to. I thought you were trying to tip something in.
No,
I thought you were
didn't.
trying to add something.
That wasn't supposed to happen.
That's actually the tagline for Glenn Clark Radio.
Wasn't supposed to happen.
That wasn't supposed to happen. We should print those shirts. I mean, nobody would buy them, but we should print them anyway so that they're available. Maybe we could give them away to somebody, or they would wear them when they eat crabs or something because they don't care if they get ruined. We're on to Bosnia Herzegovina. That's the point of all of this. U.S. plays again on Wednesday night, and we'll see how it goes. And yes, it is always unfair when you have to play both. I do agree with that. It's like when Towson would have to play William and Mary, and I'm like,
we have to play both of them a lot.
The hell, man! What are we doing? Why do we allow this? Coming up on the program today, Mike Bordick joins us in a few minutes. We'll get his thoughts as the Orioles return home. They face the Nationals for the first of 3 tonight. It's Eno Sarris, or is it Eno Sarris? I feel like we do this every time.
It's like Harris,
and I convince myself it's the other one. Eno Sarris joins us from The Athletic. They did a piece about the players that are likely to be dealt. We will talk to him about that, and then later on the program, Aidan Carroll of the Whipsnakes. They've got the Outlaws this weekend, and then next week is the PLL All-Star Game right here in Annapolis. He'll be starting for the East, so we will chat with Aidan Carroll, who has been just unbelievable since arriving with the Whipsnakes out of Georgetown. Thank you. So all that coming up on the program today. Give me 60 seconds for this, if you don't mind.
You want me to set a timer?
No, because it's not going to actually be 60 seconds.
The reason you're starting 7 minutes before our next. Yeah.
Yeah, that's normally the way. Well, I shouldn't need all 60 seconds. I don't think. But do you have a timer?
Yeah, I'll start.
Okay.
You want me to start one or count one down? I guess I'll just start one.
Just start one. That's good. That's better that way.
I'm waiting. I was going to go on you.
Oh, okay.
First move.
Okay. Tonight, the Orioles are hosting Pride Night. It's okay. You're gonna be okay.
I'm going to the game, by the way.
Wonderful.
I'm excited. I like
That's
Pride.
excellent.
Yeah.
A lot of people do. A lot of people purposely choose to go to Pride Night. Some people don't like Pride Night. I'll never understand that. That doesn't work for me. It doesn't hurt you in any way. You're not, if you don't want to kiss a dude, you're not going to be forced to kiss a dude tonight. If you want to, by all means, kiss a dude, as long as they're okay with it. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. If you don't want to go to Pride Night, you don't have to go to Pride Night. Nobody's going to force you to. Unless, again, your job requires it, in which case you can talk about that with them. The Orioles are going to have a guest splasher in the splash zone for Pride Night. That guest splasher, believe it or not someone I'm very familiar with, Heidi N. Closet. Now, I don't know how good Heidi N. Closet is at Heidi N. Closet's job, but apparently good enough that they have become noteworthy in social spaces and on the RuPaul TV show. All good, man. All good. Notable person coming to wave a hose around. Literally, not metaphorically. In the splash zone. That's cool. That's cool. You're not going to believe this, but I'm pretty sure Heidi N. Closet is not going to be performing as Mr. Splash in the nude. I don't think that's going to be the way that it's going to go. And you're not going to believe this, but the water in the hose is not going to be like some sort of gay holy water so that if it splashes and it like touches you, you're then going to turn gay. The frogs, obviously, we're always worried about the frogs. They're turning the frogs gay. We know. But you, I don't think, and to be fair, I didn't reach out for comment, but I don't think they're going to use the gay holy water tonight. It's all going to be okay. You're going to be all right. Whatever it is that you're planning on doing tomorrow, you're still going to, well, there's some rain in the forecast tomorrow, so we'll see. But I think you're still going to be all right to do most of the things that you want to do, like, in your life. Your kids that are going to Pride Night tonight, maybe they are gay. I don't know. If they are, it's wonderful that you would show them support. Maybe they don't know, but one day they're going to realize that. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know them. But what I do know with certainty is that being in the same stadium as someone who is a drag performer is not going to magically turn them gay or into a drag performer. Now, they might want to do that anyway, and that's cool. That's fine. Whatever they want to do. Maybe they want to drive a truck. I don't know. I don't know your kids. But everything's going to be all right. It's all going to be okay. I promise you. I think your hysteria is dumb as shit. But that's me. You think your hysteria is founded. I can't help with that. What I can tell you is it's gonna be okay. If you need a hug, let Griffin know he's gonna be at the game. He'll come give you a nice hug.
Yeah.
You'll feel better. It's gonna be all right. I swear, we're all gonna get through it. If I wasn't going to Jack Johnson tonight, I'd love to go to the game. I'd love to. It's cool, man. It's cool. We're all good here. I promise you, it ain't that deep. It just isn't. And it never will be. No matter how badly you want to feel aggrieved about something in your life, no matter how badly you want to feel like you're somehow a victim, you're going to be okay. We're going to pick ourselves up. We're going to dust ourselves off, and we're going to go on with our lives. I hope the Orioles win tonight. That's my concern. That would be really good. I hope they win many games because, they need to. They're in a bad spot. And whether they've got Heidi and Closet as the guest splasher or who else has been a guest splasher? I think Zay Flowers is doing
Zay
one
Flowers.
coming up.
Yep. Derek Queen has been in the past. Wes Moore's
Derek
been in the
Queen
past,
did
right?
it. David Rubenstein himself was the guest splasher.
Everybody loved that.
It was back. Times were a little bit different back then, weren't they? Whoever it is, our day has been fine the next day. But believe it or not, we didn't wake up and say, "My God, my day is ruined because Derek Queen was out there spraying people with water." It's crazy how that works. It's like that time that you lost your mind about who won an award at the ESPYs, and my God, you've never given a single shit about anything that ever happened again at the ESPYs. It's crazy, right? Because none of it actually matters, except for the people that it does. And for them, if you're someone who has felt like you weren't welcome or you weren't appreciated, and this helps with that, then love that for you. Love that. For everybody else, just carry on with your day. Go get have you tried the new Snickers peanut butter ice cream bars? They're delicious. Go get yourself one. It'll be cool. Have you listened to the band the Black Pumas? They're wonderful. Go spend your time. Maybe spend some more time with your kids. Do whatever it is. But this ain't it, Chief. You're gonna be all right. Your mother and I are very proud of you. That was much more than 1 minute. I know it was. I'm sorry.
I got 6:45.
How did I let that? It wasn't supposed to be that. I blame you for that.
Me? I should have cut you
Because
off.
some of this is supposed to end up being social content, and you got to do a better job of, like, some of this we need to be able to translate on air to social better. Like, we got to do a better
I'll
job.
slash your
with that.
tires in the future.
Slash my tires.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean.
Metaphorically.
Yeah.
Oh, that was an actual threat.
No.
You're
rolling down a hill,
very
and I'll try to
concerned.
slow you down.
I was very concerned. Oh man. Hey, we got a new print issue of Press Box available right now. Speaking of the Orioles, that's Kevin Brown right there on the cover. You know him. He's the play-by-play voice of your Baltimore Orioles. He's very good. And there's a great cover story all about him right now in this print issue of Press Box. It's also our annual summer travel issue with great sports tourism options for you. Go pick it up for free at your Baltimore area High's Dairy stores, and as well as any of the hundreds of locations around town where you find Press Box. Read it all on PressBoxOnline.com. I'm going to be gone for a couple of weeks. I'm wondering what I'm going to be coming back to. Let's see what this man thinks. You know him, 105.7 The Fan, Orioles Hall of Famer, the Be More Baseball podcast, the League of Dreams, Baseball Warehouse. He might, my God, he's just standing outside the door right now, like going door to door. He's probably going to be running for office at some point. Does everything. Mike Bordick, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Oh, I'm good, brother. Hey, I'm unfortunately not doing stuff at the Baseball Warehouse
Oh, I'm
anymore.
sorry. I'm sorry. I screwed up.
Individually, that's okay, individually. So if anybody has my number, give me a call. I'll give you a lesson. So that's how that kind of stuff goes.
I'm sorry.
But,
I'm so used to going through the whole rundown, Mike, that sometimes I forget.
Oh, I
that
know,
things
but I
change.
appreciate it so much,
Sometimes I
man,
forget.
because, first of all, I love being active in the community, and we do. The League of Dreams is going so well right now. A lot of great things happening for our special needs population. And, of course, the Be More Baseball podcast, so much fun with Jerry Coleman and just talking shop.
It's the first
man.
time anyone in history has ever said that sentence. That's the first time that combination of words has ever been uttered by any human being. So much fun with Jerry Coleman. No one has ever said that. Unless they were talking about a man in San Diego. No one has ever said that before.
Here we go, then, man.
Yeah,
And
making
this is
some
how we
history.
got to be right now, okay? Because I'm going to compare Coleman to the Orioles this year, all right?
Oh,
Now,
boy.
do we want to enjoy the rest of the season or not? We got to suck it up a little bit.
Apropos.
And I think we have to kind of look at this team, to be honest with you, as a team that, is just like the rest of them. And how are they going to separate themselves? That's it, man. Because I think, honestly, they have talent. I think they have more talent than most of these freaking brutal teams in the American League. I really do. And if they can put just a little bit more together, they're going to find themselves in the postseason. And I think it's going to be interesting, really interesting to see what happens over the next, what is it, a little over a month before the trade deadline. Because a lot of teams are in the same boat, man, and I think it's up for grabs, to be honest with you.
Well, as you allude to, obviously, the Orioles went 4-5 on the West Coast, and they're a game closer to the playoffs than they were when the trip started, which is just sort of a wild look.
I'm telling you, man,
Mike,
it's so bizarre.
What you said in there is inherently true, which is that the way that we've kind of described it, our friend Stan the Fan said, the whole is lesser than the sum of the parts. Like, it's really difficult to make sense of why this team has been so, wildly inconsistent to bad, because you're right. The players are better than this. We know that. And, what happened the other day is a game that 9.99 times out of 10, you have to win that game, and yet somehow you end up losing that game. How do we make sense of it? Because it gets to it. The managers have changed. Lots of things have changed, and yet this type of stuff is still happening, and they're still not even living up to the, again, whole of the pieces that they have.
So I don't know, man. It's hard to put a finger on it, and of course, I could go old school and talk about just the lack of all the defensive preparation, and I really do think it has legitimately been lacking with a lot of teams that went all in on analytics. I just think through just holistically, they have started to just forgetting about the importance of defense, about base running, about situational baseball. And I'm going to tell you right now, I witnessed it. I witnessed them pulling away from situational baseball when Brandon Hyde was there. And this was not a Brandon Hyde call, because I remember standing there with a bunch of coaches saying, wait, we haven't even gone over cutoffs and relays. And it was like the third week of spring training. We haven't even gone over bunt plays the whole spring training. I'm telling you, that kind of stuff, it just doesn't matter. Bat speed, arm speed, that's what matters, and that's where the game got off track. Now, there's a recognition of that, and it's whoever can recover the soonest is going to pull and emerge away from this pack of below average major league players and just play a little better brand of baseball. Now, they can't develop at the major league level. They're going to try, and they hope, and just because of sheer fear and anxiety of players, hopefully they get better. This kind of stuff is supposed to have been taught in the minor leagues, and it's going to take another couple years. Like the next round of young players, hopefully, that comes through the Orioles system has now all of a sudden been taught baseball. And of course, along with analytics, I'm not shortchanging it, but you got to have both if you want to have a good baseball team. And I think Elias really missed the boat on that. They're trying to play catch up right now, and we're seeing the results of it. Just inconsistency, period. And this, I can't blame everybody because the whole team isn't full of former, guys that came up through this organization. This is systemic in baseball. A lot of players really just don't know the detail and nuance of real, good baseball at the major league level. And I think teams are all of a sudden panicking a little bit to try to find it, because if the Orioles were just a shade better, if, we could talk about all these teams. Can you imagine if the team that they're going to play tonight saved 5 more games, where they'd be in the NL East, right? So, we could talk about all these teams like that. And I feel like the Orioles just have a better talent base, and they're going to be the team that emerges. Is that me just being an Oriole fan?
Maybe,
because it's hard to say that, really, is after seeing some of these losses.
And that's, I guess my problem is, like, if this is who they are defensively, then, like, while I know they're more talented than this, aren't they just going to keep doing these things? Like, isn't just going to be their story? Let me ask you, because I'm sure you've talked about and heard, the reports that Cal Ripken has chosen to try to be a little bit more involved. And we've already heard a little bit of pushback. Craig Albernaz said, like, well, I don't know that he's actually out there, like, running drills with the guys. But, like, right. Cal obviously quite well. How much could it help solve some of these problems if he truly is more interested and invested and willing to try to work with these guys on the literal fundamentals, these sort of brain fart things that we keep seeing constantly that, to your point, we probably should have learned when we were 13?
Yeah. Well, I think, I don't know that Cal's going to get ready out there on the field. I think Cal obviously loves talking shop. He is really an intellectual when it comes to the game of baseball. I kind of foresee Cal talking to the head of the minor leagues, Schilt now that came over, and I think he's got a good baseball background as well. And I can just about imagine him sitting there and saying, listen, my father created the Oriole way along with him and Earl Weaver, and this is what it was. And it was just play the game better than anybody else. And that means run the bases better, catch the ball better. And everybody knows in Oriole history, by the amount of Gold Gloves all those dudes collected over the years, the importance of, defense and what it led to, just great baseball year in and year out. I don't even know that the Orioles they might have had 1 or 2 losing seasons for a run of about, it seemed like 20 years. But anyway, that was the foundation of winning baseball. And, I just, as the game evolved here, obviously for Baltimore, things have changed a little bit. But I think if you can get a little bit of a semblance of that, and these guys understanding the importance of an out and the urgency, honestly, of every play at the major league level. If there are 138 pitches thrown, 138 pitches need full and utmost focus. And unfortunately, I don't think, obviously, the Orioles haven't had that. They've had breakdowns. Now, this is a this is human nature. This happened to me at the major league level, and I think it probably happens to every stinking major leaguer. The here we go again effect. When it happens once or twice, and then that next guy comes in, and all of a sudden a guy gets on base or a ball is thrown, psychologically players go, oh no, here we go again. I got to do something to stop it. So they might go talk to the pitcher, or they might, whatever. Either way, there's a distraction of that mentality. Here we go again. And your full focus isn't on the pitch at hand or the play at hand. There is a distraction. And trust me, everything needs ultimate focus at the highest level if you want to be really good. And I'm not saying it's easy, because it happens like that. Listen, I think it was 1998, the Orioles, we had a great team, and they tried something different, and the Orioles bullpen brought Mike Timlin in, and I think 10 saves in a row were blown.
Yeah.
And I just remember sitting out there short going, oh my God,
It's happening again.
here we go again, just feeling it.
Yeah.
And just that negativity kind of manifested a run of losing, and it happens. And if you get more than one guy think of that, which I think the Orioles have it, how about the Nats? Do you think they have it right now
no
after
question.
the weekend they just put together? Holy cow.
No question about it. No question. And it's self-fulfilling prophecy. I get that. And you somehow you've got to go win 4 games in a row. You got to go do something like that you haven't done before.
It's going to take a player. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
All last year I was hoping, okay, one guy's got to take charge. And I was blowing the trumpet thinking that Adley was somehow going to miraculously take the turn and be that team leader again. And he just couldn't bounce back, whether it been injuries or whatever. I honestly think that if Gunnar found any kind of hot streak, this whole team would, I don't know, they'd just say, all right, now we can go. Because I feel like they're waiting on Gunnar to find consistency to some point. Now, will he find it? I don't know. I'm not too dissatisfied with what Gunnar's doing. He's got good power numbers. He's going to give you everything he's got, it seems, every night. But if he just got a little bit hotter, it may help that. Because, okay, we can overcome now. There isn't going to be any more of this, what's going to happen next. We got Gunnar back, so let's roll, boys. And I just feel like they're close. Don't they show signs of that at times? I feel it. And then all of a sudden the wheels fall off, and they feel like the worst team in baseball.
Well, I mean, their pitching gets hot, and then you start to buy in because the pitching's hot, and the pitching's been hot. But then they figure out ways to lose games that they just have no business losing. He's Mike Bordick. He's with us here on GCR. Mike, you bring up Adley Rutschman. All of a sudden, there's been a real conversation about, really, I think it's twofold. One, what if they don't get things figured out? What if the wheels come further off? And then I think a bigger conversation about, and if you're not going to sign Adley Rutschman, then maybe do you need to think about moving him now while he's been performing, and you can sell him with a year and a half of control instead of holding on to him and being in a similar position a year from now? What do you make of all of that conversation and where the Orioles are with Adley Rutschman and their ability to try to win a World Series while he's still wearing orange and black?
Yeah, it's really interesting, isn't it? I think Mike Elias is going to try to save face as long as he can with taking Adley Rutschman over Bobby Witt Jr., and I think on to him. And I wouldn't blame him. I think Adley's a really good major league player. I love how he handles the staff. We've seen, is he going to be a flash in the pan star? We saw him do some pretty good things for a couple years, and now there's some inconsistencies, and he's kind of up and down right now offensively, although it does feel like he's kind of back. But my gosh, now he keeps getting hurt again, so needed to get him on the field. Listen, I'm an Adley fan, and like I said, I think if Elias trades Rutschman, he's waving the white flag, man. I really do think he's going to hold on and try to keep him around. It is going to be interesting. I don't know how many suitors you're going to have for Rutschman, although there is some attraction as a switch hitter. I know there are some teams that need a catcher right now. I expect them to hold on to him, and I also expect the Orioles to not be as aggressive as we'd all hope. I think if they're going to be aggressive at the trade line, certainly they have to entertain a lot of different things. But I hope they go after a bullpen and just stockpile the back end of a bullpen, because in my opinion, and I think coming into this year, that was everybody's concern, and here it is showing up, man, right when we need them most. So finding consistency at the back end is going to be the key.
I think the question that people would ask on the flip side is it worth it to be like where would they need to be to justify being aggressive? Because I get it, as you point out, they're only a game and a half outside the playoffs, but it's really hard to squint and look at this team like they're a team that can actually do damage if they were to get into the postseason. Where would they need to be to you to justify selling or the buying and getting rid of assets to try to add?
Well, I don't know, man, but who are you looking at are teams that we got to beat? Seriously,
Yeah.
Listen, there are so many bad. The Rays, do you think the Rays are a great team in the American League East?
I mean, the
They're
Orioles kind of
just
prove
as
that.
bad as anybody
Yeah,
else.
right.
They are as inconsistent and unsteady defensively. They've got a couple hot hitters, but they're inconsistent top to bottom, man. Everybody's in the same boat. The Yankees, I mean, there are times I just wonder, how the heck can they win? And all of a sudden, if their young pitchers start getting hit around, like Schlittler did last night by the Red Sox, are you kidding me? Everybody's going to kind of stumble back, man. And so I don't know that there are any guarantees. The best team's going to be the Dodgers, period. So
Right.
if you can beat the Dodgers, and the Orioles showed really well against the Dodgers, they were high energy. I thought they could have swept and probably should have swept the Dodgers. And I'm not saying they're better than the Dodgers right now, but this year, more than ever, get in. And if you get a hot couple pitchers and a solid bullpen, you can make a run. And if a couple of these Oriole hitters get going, if Gunnar all of a sudden says, all right, I'm going to be really good again the second half of this season, let's be optimistic and say, okay, Trevor Rogers has found something and he can go on a nice run. Brandon Young arguably could be the Orioles' only representative at the All-Star game. Look at what he's done. He turned into last year's Trevor Rogers, and he's as consistent as anybody. Bradish is showing the most incredible signs of brilliance his last few outings. So that's got to make you feel warm and fuzzy. And you also got to think about some guys coming back off the IL. Where's Dean Kramer going to go? Where's Cade Povich going to go? Where's Trey Gibson going to go? That tells me that the bullpen just got a hell of a lot stronger. And if you want to save Bradish, you could start piggybacking a little bit the second half. There better be some innovation. Okay, that's it. You got to be creative and you got to be innovative and find a way to be better than these other trash teams in the American League.
Oh boy, yeah, I've had that conversation with a few people that maybe they consider the 6-man or the piggyback or something like that, because the innings thing is still real for Bradish, and like just pretending it isn't, because he's had 2 really good starts and they've been really good, but that is still a real factor they have to deal with. My last one for you, Mike, if I could phrase it this way, because I feel like for a lot of Orioles fans, there's an esoteric factor to this. Like, they want to see guys more pissed off. Like, and you and I have joked before, managers aren't allowed to come in and throw the bats around anymore, right? Like, that we're past that era of baseball. Managers are barely allowed to do anything anymore. But, like, should we want to see these guys more visibly angry, more visibly pissed off, or is it better? This is the nature of baseball. You have to go play another game the next day. You can't allow these things to get to you. It is better that they remain even keel. What do you make of that conversation?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I think, what are you? Are you a competitor or are you just a playing card? And I think, unfortunately, with the advent of analytics, they think every player is a playing card, and they're trying to really avoid conflict on the baseball field. But the fact of the matter is, this is competition, baby. And if you don't think that guy across the way is trying to take food off your plate or a better contract, you're mistaken. So you got to find a way to be a competitor. And I don't know if they're just chasing the numbers, okay? Like, they come out of there with an 0 for 4, but my bat speed was 78 miles an hour each swing. Best I've ever done. Well, who gives a crap? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Did you go out there and compete to try to win a ball game? So it's that competition. Where is the fire and edge? And here is where it is. Listen, man, and I don't want to sound, okay, I'm going to sound however I sound. Alvernet's a young manager. He's trying to find his way too. This is a young team, this and that. they are going to take on the persona of their manager, period. And if they got a big, hairy manager, an old guy that's been through the wars, and he went out on the field after Gunnar Henderson got hit the third time and went towards the dugout, the opponent's dugout, like what should have happened, to stand up to the player and say, you guys just screwed up. And the next day, maybe hit two of their guys and say, whatever you want, boys, let's go. That kind of attitude is what's going to get every player in the dugout thinking a little bit differently. You cannot be passive up there because people will take full advantage, especially a competitive team at the highest level. And hopefully there are those teams left. It does seem a little stale from a competitive standpoint, but yeah, get an edge. Why not? Throw it out there and see what happens, because it's those dudes, man, that come up all bloody and dirty. Listen, we all love Gunnar. Yeah, we want him to pull it back sometimes because it looks a little immature at times. But man, oh man, if they all had their hair on fire like that, had that kind of passion, things might be a little bit crazy. You know what I'm saying? So in a good way, that kind of fire and just competitive drive is what it's really all about. And a guy's got to find it, and they may just get a little bit more out of themselves if they do.
I appreciate all that. Bordy, what's the most important thing that we can plug?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I'll tell you right now. I know Jerry's going to be upset if I don't plug the podcast first, but I am going to always plug my...
Why do we care about Jerry? Why do we care, Mike?
All right, then. I'm going to plug my nonprofit, the League of Dreams. Check it out, leagueofdreams.org, man. Doing so many good things with our special needs community and sports. We're doing STEM now, too. We just put a STEM center in at Hillcrest in Catonsville at an elementary school. We're impacting over 500 kids, man. So check it out, man, and help if you can, because that's all we want to do is help as many kids in this area as we possibly can. And, of course, the Be More Baseball podcast, we always got good guests on there. And recently we had Trey Mancini. Yeah. We all love Trey, right? So we're always pulling for him. And he's such an incredible story and so inspiring for all of us. So check that one out as well.
Bordy, love you, brother. Always appreciate you. Thanks for doing it, man. We'll talk soon, all right?
You got it, man. Anytime.
Thanks, buddy. Mike Bordick with us here on GCR. Appreciate him. I've had some weird noises popping up during the course of the show. I don't know what's going on here. Just strange sounds just sort of ducking in from time to time. Are we too
many tabs open is the issue.
Is that what happened? Maybe we need to get
fixed now. It's fixed.
Do we need to get specific audio?
I love that. Yeah.
Haven't we had a conversation too about doing the browsing here and the audio?
It's not
there?
Browsing. It's stuff that is critical to the show.
Is it though?
I mean,
is it?
Yes.
Like what?
Like
prove it.
When I okay, so that
Prove
was
it.
So you know how I publish the show after
Yes,
every
I
publish the audio only after the show.
Uh-huh.
That was that tab that was open, and then for whatever.
But how is that critical to this show?
Because it helps expedite all the processes. As soon as we're off the air, I can get this up quicker.
But you couldn't do that from that computer?
Let's see. Could I do that? Because you're right. Because we did change. So the reason, I mean, you want to dive into it? I feel like we need to get a break. I feel like we kind of need to get a break.
Don't we have a guest we have to call?
We do.
We'll call the guest.
Okay.
If you want to bail, if you want respite,
no, I
call the guest. Call the guest. That'll give you respite. It'll get you off the respite. I didn't say forever. You're just running out the clock until we're going on vacation. I know what's going on here.
Yeah, right.
I've played
I'm sabotaging
this
the
game
show.
before. No, you're running out the clock. That's what's happening. He'll forget all of it. He's going to Africa. He's going to forget all about it. I know how this works. I've been in your shoes, man. It's not quite last day of school because we are technically coming back in for 2 days, but they're basically, let's be honest, they're like half days next week. And we all know we're well on our way out the door. That's the way that it works. Hey, unfortunately, I will not be able to be there for it, but the rest of you, my gosh, you should be at Sports and Social on Wednesday, July 1st, as Team USA takes the field in the round of 32. Win your share of $2,000 in cash and prizes throughout the match, including a $500 number one fan competition. Show up in your best USA gear for a chance to be crowned the number one fan and take home $500 cash. Watch every minute of the action on the massive 100-foot media wall while enjoying game day food and drink specials and the ultimate soccer watch party atmosphere. Reserve your table today through Open Table and don't miss the biggest Team USA watch party around at Sports and Social Wednesday, July 1st for the round of 32. Was really interested at The Athletic this week. They went over their big board, the top 50 players that could be dealt at MLB's trade deadline, including a few Baltimore Orioles on the list. Joining us now, always a pleasure to welcome back to the program, Eno Sarris, who covers baseball for The Athletic and was part of this piece this week. Eno, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's always good to chat with you, man. Thank you for taking the time for us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
If I could, because I'm going to bring you on to talk about a piece, but I want to ask you about a name that is not in that piece, but is very relevant to us, and I'm interested in where you are with the conversation, because there's been a lot of just mumblings about the possibility that the Orioles would consider shopping Adley Rutschman this year. And he's not a rental, so I know why he wouldn't be high on this list, but it is relevant, the idea that you don't want to trade a player when, they're only a rental. You want to try to maximize value, and we don't know what the thought process is with Samuel Basallo, whether they believe that he can be a full-time catcher. I think it's an interesting conversation. I don't expect them to do it, but I feel like it's worthy of conversation about whether or not it should be at least in the thought process for them.
Yeah, no, I think they should think about it. I mean, for whatever reason, the pitching just really hasn't gone into full gear, and they've paid attention to it. They've traded for Shane Baz. They've traded for Trevor Rogers. They've had big prospects like Grayson come up, and, it just hasn't clicked for them pitching wise. And, honestly, even on the hitting side, sometimes it hasn't been as advertised, considering this group of young players and the promise that they supposedly had coming up. So I think in some ways you say, hey, we could keep them for this extra year, or we could get a real shot of talent and major league ready talent and potentially some arms that could step into the rotation, because Trevor Rogers is going to be gone next year. And we're kind of lacking in, if you're playing the role of Baltimore front office, you might think we're lacking, front end starting rotation talent, and you're not going to necessarily get that. I know that Pete Crow Armstrong was a trade deadline, piece that was traded, and so everyone thinks, oh, this is great. But normally for a rental piece, you're not trading away great prospects, and you don't end up getting a lot for it. But for a non-rental, you'll get you might get a real prospect. But I think it's worth talking about with Basallo. I see him as a regular catcher. I know that there's been some controversy about playing through injury for him. Mm-hmm. And, I don't know from the outside how serious that is. It is a serious thing for a catcher to have to be able to kind of play through some of those dings, because it's just that kind of position. But if they think that's a serious problem, then you keep Adley around. You give yourself more time to see if Basallo can do it. That's the safer way of doing things. But if they think, no, he's shown since that he can play through some stuff, and we've given him this, we've given him the message, then you might consider it, because Rutschman is the biggest piece that would bring them back something. You're trading away just pieces that at the deadline, like Taylor Ward and Trevor Rogers, Andrew Kittredge, things that aren't nailed down for next year as we're free agents. You're not going to get that much for those guys.
I think the most interesting name among the Orioles names that were on your guys' list was Yennier Cano, just because, to the point, he's not a rental. He's a guy you still have a lot of control over. Is that maybe a similar thought process of, but you have the opportunity to perhaps sell to another team, this guy could be your closer or your leverage arm, and get a higher price because of it?
Yeah. At least with Rutschman, though, you have a little bit of like, well, we trade Rutschman and Basallo's our everyday guy, and we kind of have an internal replacement. With Cano,
they do not have a lot of leverage arms. They are really lacking in terms of leverage arms.
So if you do that, then you have to go back out into the market and say, okay, we traded Cano because we think we can go back out in the market. But I think a player of Cano's quality might cost, like $30
$30 million in 2 years, something like that. I mean, like, it's not going to be super cheap, and it might take multiple years in a way that Baltimore has not been shown to really want to do on the market, especially for pitching and free agency.
He is Eno Sarris, and he's with us here on GCR. The tricky part about talking about the Orioles and the deadline is we don't think they're very good, and yet they're a game and a half out of a playoff spot because the American League kind of stinks. Where do they – because there's still an argument on the other side of this conversation, right? Particularly – I know if a Joe Ryan really is on the market and he's got another year of control, I'd be very interested in Joe Ryan. Like, I don't even think that an Orioles team that sort of hangs around and gets into the playoffs is a threat to win, but I don't think they should be giving up on the hope of trying to do it next year either. Where would they need to be for you to think that they should definitively go one way or the other at the deadline? Like, if they're in the position they're in right now where they're not good but they're still very close to the playoffs, should they be selling Rodgers and Ward? Do they need to fall back further to do that? And if they're in this position, can you justify buying, or do you look and say, hey, you're just not that good, why are you giving away any of your assets?
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're making the case for what might be the most likely thing, which is nothing happens.
Yeah.
But it is really weird. The American League, there are only 2 teams that have a positive run differential. There are only 2 teams in the entire American League that have scored more runs than they've allowed. So the American League is pretty stinky right now, and so that makes an opportunity for any sort of team. What I would want if I was running Baltimore, I think I just want to see the offense click. I just want to see the offense click. I'd want to see Jackson, play well for a little bit. I'd want to see them score some runs. It looks like the ball's getting more lively recently. I'd want to see some home runs, and I just want to see if you guys, if that offense, because that's, honestly, I could. Do you remember the Diamondbacks against the Rangers?
Yeah, sure.
Like the Rangers didn't have a quality staff; they just had a quality lineup, and so that's what I'd be looking for. If you're supporting Baltimore and you want them to buy at the end, and Ryan is a great name to think about because he not only helps you this year, he helps you next year. And so you're like, hey, the lineup is clicked.
But
we think of what we thought of is going to happen, and now we need another pitcher.
What could possibly be the cost for a Joe Ryan, though? Like, we're just talking about what it might cost to, what you may be able to get for Adley Rutschman. Now it's Joe Ryan that we're discussing. Like, do the Orioles even have that at this point? We're talking about an organization that is very light on prospects. Do they even have the horses to go get a Joe Ryan for the next year and a half? I think
right.
Yeah, I apologize. You're cutting in and out. We'll try to make sure we can clean that up. Sarris of The Athletic is with us here on GCR. Griffin will link up on Twitter their story, their big board of players that could be dealt at the trade deadline. It's 50 guys. It includes a number of Orioles. I mentioned they have Yennier Cano on that list, which would maybe surprise you. In fact, he's number 21 on that list, but in the highest Oriole on that list, which kind of catches you a bit off guard. Then Taylor Ward is at number 23, Ryan Helsley at 31 among the Orioles on that list. And the Cano thing kind of jumps out at you. Like, why would you be trading away Yennier Cano? And to me, it's just he's a guy that looks like a reliable leverage arm that everybody is looking for. And considering that he wouldn't just be a rental, you have a real opportunity to turn that into an actual price that you can get if you were to shop Yennier Cano. So, yeah, we'll link that up on Twitter at Glenn Clark Radio here in just a second. Sarris of The Athletic is with us. Yeah, is there any chance the Orioles could even pay the price for Joe Ryan?
I'm not so familiar with the minor league resources that the Orioles have.
That's because there's not much at this point, unfortunately.
So I don't know. I know that the Twins have had a heck of a time with pitching injury. and they just lost another one of their young pitchers to elbow surgery. So maybe just healthy pitching is maybe it doesn't have to be the very front end prospects. Maybe that would get it done. But I can't tell you that I don't know. So I think we're making the case here for something quite boring.
Oh yeah, just do nothing. Just keep rolling it out there and hoping for the best, and go from there.
Maybe get a rental reliever.
Yeah, that sounds very Orioles. Let's go purgatory is what we're saying. I bring up the idea of acquiring pitchers with control, and another name that's in your top 10 is Reed Detmers. And I know the Angels have maybe suggested that they aren't looking to try to trade he or Soriano, and clearly I think Soriano would cost more. Detmers is fascinating because he's been great this year, but we all kind of also know what the last few years have been like. Can you really buy into the idea that if you're targeting Reed Detmers, that you're definitively getting someone that is definitely going to be at the top of your rotation next year and it's worth paying a real price for him? Or is there too much risk for you to be paying a real price for Reed Detmers?
Yeah, no, I think that is a good question. But one thing that happened when Detmers was a reliever was that he discovered a strategy that worked against righties. He's a lefty where it's a fastball and a slider that are his best weapons, and they are good weapons. But, you're thinking, a fastball slider lefty, like what does he do against righties? The nice thing is that his slider is what you call a gyro slider. It is a bullet slider. It is the kind of slider that actually works to opposite-handed hitters. It is not a big sweeper. It is not, a big movement slider. Those kind of tight, less movement sliders, those kind of sliders work. And so what he's done against righties is to kind of really ramp up that slider usage and get to almost 50-50 with the fastball and the slider. He's naturally more dominant against lefties. And he's figured something out against righties. I understand being tepid about it, and I would hope that would reduce the price. But it is the kind of thing where he might cost less than Joe Ryan if they decide in Anaheim that they're going to, change things up. And so you might get the same kind of upside where you're getting a real number two. And you're not spending the same price for it.
Oh, it feels like, when I think about it, it feels like the next in the line of Flaherty, Rogers, Boz. Like that just sort of feels like the type of pitcher that the Orioles would target and say, hey, we went and
Let's
got
hope it works out better.
That's the issue that you mentioned at the beginning of the year, like, hey, they've taken swings, and you're right, but it's so clearly not been the big swing, right? Like they've so clearly not done that. And I know that they were in the market.
Well, Corbin Burns.
Other than the 1 year of Corbin Burns. You're 100% right. Yeah. 1 year of Corbin Burns
was
a big
the
swing.
one that worked out the best.
Yes, definitively. It's just that all of a sudden they couldn't score a run in the second half of the season, and it really burned them. But that to me is the part that I keep coming back to, and it's sort of the reason why I'm willing to entertain the Adley Rutschman conversation, which is, I don't think you can sell. I know you bring up that Rangers team, but it's really hard to sell me on this is a legitimate World Series contender without that true top of the rotation type guy. And so, like, I come back to, are you going to do that? Because if you go out and get Joe Ryan this year at the deadline, then hell yeah. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I can buy it. I can buy that you can put this thing together to be a World Series contender in 2027. But if it's another Jack Flaherty, Trevor Rogers type, it just feels like you're trying to do just enough to be competitive. And then I might have to talk to you about asset valuation and doing the best overall thing for the franchise, which is really boring and sounds very nerdy. It's so nerdy.
We are circling actually something exciting. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
How much pressure do you think there is on Mike Elias and his front office, given that they've had 8 years?
It feels like there should be more, Eno. It definitely feels like there should be more. But a year ago, that it should be more pressure was instead of promotion to president. So it's hard. David Rubenstein and Michael Arrighetti aren't around. They don't seem to care all that much. So I don't know how much pressure there is on Michael Elias.
Well, let's say I felt a little bit of pressure, and maybe it was just internal pressure. I'm Mike Elias, and I'm like, dang, like, come on.
Now,
like,
I want to win a World Series. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm going to take every chance I can get. Then the most exciting thing, and I think maybe you've been hinting at this, but I could maybe see this happening, was that they do both, because you're saying they don't have the assets to get Adley. They don't have the assets. Do they even have the assets to get Detmers? They definitely maybe don't have the assets to get Ryan.
Right.
Well, you can get the assets to get Ryan by selling Rutschman. So maybe you basically kind of do a three-way trade, or like
two trades that are basically
selling.
right. Yeah. I'm interested in that, by the way.
That's kind of that. I mean, you're taking advantage of what's going on. You're building for next year as much as you're building for the rest of this year, and you're doing the thing that GMs and presidents of baseball officers love to do the most. You are threading the needle.
Mm-hmm. And they do have a lot of players that they need to put on the 40-man roster next year to protect from the Rule 5 draft that they're not going to be able to get all of them on, so it makes sense to be doing buying to some extent. You're speaking my language, Eno Sarris. Look, and for what it's worth, I don't want to be the Tampa Bay Rays because I do want to spend money at some point, but this is kind of what they were exceptionally good at, is manipulating.
Doing everything.
Exactly, the comings and the goings. And I'm not opposed to that part, just, mixing in spending. I want to be adding the Pete Alonsos of the world from time to time, which the Orioles did.
But one thing, the Rays are really interesting because it does seem like they have a core identity, that there's a couple things that they do really well. They get guys who hit the ball hard. They don't actually care if they hit them in the air. They just get guys who hit the ball hard and make contact. And so, they kind of make contact, hit the ball hard, put it in play, try to run a little bit, play some old school baseball. That's what they do on offense. And on pitching, they seem to have some stuff dialed in. The pitchers kind of go there and get better, and, then you go over and you look at Baltimore, and the core identity I thought that they were developing was like, we develop our prospects to the top ends of their outcomes. Like they come through our minor league system and they are well developed. But I just wrote a piece recently with Bricheroli about how the Orioles are the most injured, one of the three most injured teams in baseball, and this has been going on for a while. So now you have to wonder if some of these player development processes are leading to injuries over and over again. And you've in some of these prospects you thought were can't miss and looked like for a while were amazing, have taken a step back. Like, I thought Gunnar was going to have an MVP by now, honestly.
Yep. You and I both. Yeah. Man. You and I both. Maybe not MVP because, at the time, Shohei existed and Aaron Judge still. But I get it. That. But we talk about him in that.
But like him or Bobby Witt. I at one point I would have been like, okay, either guy.
Yep. I get it. I completely get it. Real quick, if the Orioles are in this similar position, if this is about where they are, right, like a little bit under 500, around 500, right on the fringe, is there a world, I feel like at that point you have to hold on to your guys. Like you have to hold on to Rogers. You probably have to hold on to Helsley. Could you still maybe look to move like a Taylor Ward? Could you justify, even if you're in it, doing some selling just because it makes the most sense to do that?
Yeah, I think also you have to think about the narrative, what the media narrative is. So, let's say Beavers comes back and is playing well.
Mm-hmm.
Then you say, hey, we're trying to make room for Beavers or whatever it is, So there could be something like that. You could even say, internally you could look at the projections and say, wow, like Beavers projects to be the same or better, because Ward's bat speed has really fallen off, and he is a really good plate approach, but in terms of power, it's not really there. So you might have internal projections that say, well, actually, Beavers be the same or better.
Right.
So, let's see if we can get something for next year for Ward. So, yeah, I could see. I think they will probably do some, not the Rutschman plan, but some tepid buying and selling at the same time is probably probably what will happen. But it would be kind of fun if they did the Rutschman for Ryan.
I'm
listening. By a couple teams.
I'm listening. Not because I want to sell Adley Rutschman, but because I'm interested in how you best set yourself up.
He's not going to extend with them, right? Like you know this by now because so many people have extended.
Yes, you would assume that if you got this deep. I mean, I guess it's a little bit more unique with catchers because you're not talking about $300 million, but.
Right.
I don't know. At Eno Sarris, that's how you follow him. Of course, The Athletic is where you see his stuff, and we've linked up the big board. Is there anything else we can plug for you, man?
No, I got a big story coming up early next week, so just look out for that.
All right. I look forward to it already. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There you go. That's Eno Sarris from The Athletic. I say I'm not excited. If you're going to go get Joe Ryan, I want you to have Joe Ryan and Adley Rutschman, right? Like, I want you to have as many good baseball players as you possibly can. But to Eno's point, like, if what you're saying is we just don't have the assets and the Twins don't want Adley Rutschman, but this team wants Adley Rutschman and will give us these assets, and that kind of equals what the Twins want or replaces what we would have to give up to the Twins. If you got to trade Joseph Zerwa in order to get as part of the package, but another team is willing to give you their, hot shot, high A pitcher for Adley Rutschman, I get what he's talking about. Is there a world where you can trade Adley Rutschman for Joe Ryan, even though you're not straight up trading Adley Rutschman for Joe Ryan?
In the aggregate.
Sure. Say it that way. It's a soccer term. I like that.
Well, it's the Moneyball thing, too.
It's true, too. Yeah, you're right. I get it. Now, yes, I would rather have – this is why I never let them off the hook about how much a pitcher costs in the offseason. You don't have to give up any assets. And it's not my money, so it makes it much easier. It's make-believe money. It's monopoly
And now
money.
with the new CBA, the owners are going to be saving all kinds
That's right,
of money.
Because they're not going to be able to sign anybody for longer than 6 years anyway. The players are just thumbs up all around, gang.
Well, okay, as long as you ban prop betting.
Right. We're on board with that. I feel bad because John and Andrew in particular have been hot.
They're fighting each other.
I don't think they're fighting. I think they're actually agreeing.
Oh, they are agreeing. You're right.
I think
I just see it. Yeah, Andrew,
I think they're
agree.
actually in agreement with each other. They've been all over the place, though. It's gone from a lot of
NFL,
soccer. Yeah, they've been kind of all over the place. They're kind of doing their own show. Maybe we should have competing shows on Friday. If we do a Friday afternoon, maybe we should have like this show and then the John and Andrew show and see which one goes better. If you're losing your mind about the splasher tonight, I really don't even want to try to attempt to have a conversation with you about it. Just go take a walk, man.
Yeah, don't go to the game. I don't know.
Like, it's gonna be all right. I swear it's gonna be all right. I don't even want to try to convince you of anything. Do whatever you want to do with your life.
Yeah, we'll see you for the Gunner bobblehead tomorrow anyway.
Bobble card.
Oh, bobble
card. It's not a bobblehead. It's a bobble card.
So
I'll be there Tuesday before we leave for Africa.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That seems like it fits in your schedule easily.
Just the dumbest thing ever. I promised the kids that we would go to a game before we left for Africa, and all of a sudden we realized we had no time. There was one option.
You want me to take them tonight? And then
it was literally the night. No, they've got plans tonight. You got to understand, my kids have a busy social calendar. Oh, the wife and kids, they couldn't have. They're having a party tomorrow night. I won't be there. They don't know that. I will not be. They're hosting a party at our house.
Those two are?
No, my wife and kids.
Okay.
They're hosting. It's like everybody's supposed to take turns hosting and having all the school friends over.
You get a great matchup Tuesday night. Trey Gibson versus Eric Fetty.
Okay. Fire me up, baby. Let's do it. It's also, I think, pickleball night and runner night, but I didn't buy the special tickets for either of those giveaway. I would like some Orioles pickleball paddles.
Yeah, those
actually
would be cool.
I would like those. I don't know if you can add those on to your ticket after you've already gotten the ticket, but I would like the Orioles pickleball paddles. Those look great. What else? Is there anything I needed to recover from?
It's good for Pulisic.
John Little Rock says that Germany is actually in trouble. It's be a miracle if they get to the semifinals. I agree with Andrew.
There's so much.
I think that's right, but I think Andrew's right, and yet I still think they're better than the U.S. I think both of those things are true. And Spain, I know you're saying Belgium's been garbage so far. I'm not. Don't. That smells like rat poison to me, baby. That smells like rat
sounds like a homer. It sounds like a homer over there.
Well, but he's more worried about Bosnia. He's suggesting he's more worried about Bosnia than he would be Belgium. And I do agree with Andrew that intentionally throwing a baseball at someone during a game should come with a year-long suspension. With the point of you have to say that, I know what you're saying, Andrew, but you have to make that proclamation ahead of time. I've said it a million times. Just get it out of the game. Make it that simple. If you're intentionally throwing at someone, you're out for a year. You're not going to throw at anybody. You can't retroactively do that the way that it should have occurred during the Padres series. You can't change that now and say it's going to be a year-long suspension. But it has needed to be gone from the game for forever. For forever.
How do we prove it?
It's circumstantial.
It's hot out. I'm sweating. Come on.
You know. It's more the way that people talk about it that proves it, right? Like, they all know. They're acknowledging that it's part of the game. It's you saying it ain't going to be part of the game anymore. We're informing you now. We're done with that.
I don't know if Robert Valdez,
it's over.
After serving up a 3-run homer and then beams the next guy and just rolls his eye. I don't know if you can prove that.
He might beam his own catcher. Like he might not be throwing at the other team. He might actually at some point turn and throw the ball into the dugout.
Just hits his manager.
And yes,
or a manager.
Anybody.
Somebody.
Anybody. That's the issue with Fromber. He's not maybe the one to judge this by. Because if you make the rule that you're not allowed to hit the opposing team, he might say, no problem. No issue
Turns
here.
Around, throws it at the third baseman.
Peg it. Just peg it right at. That might be what Fromber Valdez does. We'll talk some Whipsnakes coming up. Aidan Carroll is going to join us next. It is a special Friday edition of Glenn Clark Radio.
The stars are shining brighter at Live Casino this summer. Celebrate America's 250th with $1 million. Earn entries daily July 1st through August 29th and snap a pic with our game board for a chance to win $100 in free play every week. We'll draw 50 free play winners each Saturday and $1 million winner on August 29th. Light it up at Live Casino. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Your car is more than just a ride. It's an investment. At Leading Edge Auto Body in Mount Washington, we've spent over 20 years perfecting the art of repair. From high-end imports to your trusted daily driver, we handle all makes and models with elite precision. Our team holds the highest honors in the industry, including ASE Master, iCar Platinum, and specialized aluminum certifications. We make it easy with free towing, pickup, and delivery because at Leading Edge, customer satisfaction comes first. And remember, with insurance, it's your car and it's your choice. Choose the experts. Leading Edge Auto Body. Quality you can see. Service you can trust. Go to leadingedgeautobody.com today.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
This is Byron Warnken. If you've been injured in Maryland, you know you need a great lawyer. Look no further than us, Warnken LLC. You've seen my picture on billboards around town. You've seen me on TV. Now I'm lucky enough to get to be here with Stan. Please give us a call. 443-RESULTS. It is not just a phone number, it's a mission. 443-RESULTS. Or visit us online at warnkenlaw.com. That's WARNKENLAW.com.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
When you feel invisible, exhausted, stressed, or anxious, when you have days that just feel too hard to get through, you are not alone. If you or someone you love is struggling with mental health or problems with drugs or alcohol, help is right in your hands. Call or text 988 to get support whenever you need it. Help is here. Call or text 988. Brought to you by Maryland Department of Health.
coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
All right, back in here on GCR as we continue along on a Friday edition of the program. Well, there is still one more game to be played before we get to All-Star Weekend in the PLL, and the Whipsnakes. That was delayed. We'll be taking on the Denver Outlaws this weekend. But then a huge weekend coming up, 4th of July weekend. Annapolis is going to be a special place to be for all of it. And next Sunday is the PLL All-Star Game right here in our backyard at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. Our next guest is going to be a part of it. Man, he has been so special since he arrived with the Whipsnakes. He is Aidan Carroll, and he is with us now here on GCR. Aidan, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you, man. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Hey, Glenn. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, dude. Aidan, I know you're not, originally from here. You're a Massachusetts guy, but you spent an awful lot of time in this area at Georgetown and now being a Whipsnake. I'm not even sure where you are at geographically, but to be able to be a part of the All-Star Game here in this area that you've come to know so well, I know that's got to be a really cool thing.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool experience. Last year it was in Kansas City, but it's cool to be in a hotbed of lacrosse. Actually, the last time I was in Annapolis, we lost in the quarterfinals at Georgetown. So hopefully we'll get some vengeance on that front.
I hadn't thought about that. Oh boy, yeah, right. You gotta create new memories. Gotta make it. Wash that one away.
Touchy subject.
Wash that one away somehow. Aidan, how has it been? I know part of it is you're just a hell of a player, right? But it isn't supposed to be this easy to make the transition from college to the pros. You now, over the last couple of years, have made it seem seamless. What allowed it to be so easy for you to make this jump and be able to compete and dominate the way that you have against the best in the world?
Yeah, I think that coming into even a year before the PLL draft, I wasn't really sure what my draft prospects were. So coming in, I didn't have many expectations, and I don't think there was many expectations for me. So the lack of expectation certainly made it a little bit easier. I know a lot of guys come in to the league with a lot of hype, and they have to deal with that sort of microscope. So I think that, along with the leadership on our team, we have a number of veterans. I mean, Rob Pennell on the offensive end, but Tim Muller, Matt Dunn on the defensive end, along with many others. We're so helpful in the process of just getting me squared away, getting all the younger guys squared away, and giving us confidence to operate as players, but also leaders on the team.
You mentioned Rob. He and I were talking about you earlier this year, and he was raving, said that you're going to be MVP of the league, that you're one of the best players in the world. Can you tell me about what that relationship has been like for you? You know, one of the icons of this sport, to be teammates with him, to have him have the faith in you that he has. What has that done for you as you've launched your own pro career?
Yeah, it's so cool. And on a day-to-day basis, I don't really think of it as me talking to Rob Pennell. It's just one of my teammates. But sometimes I'll check myself a bit, because I know that when I was younger, I was using Rob's app to get better at the attack position, and I was always watching his film. Went to his Final Four game at Gillette Stadium up in Foxborough. So playing with him has been really special, but also it's him being a veteran brings such a level of he has a little bit of urgency, knowing that his years are numbered, but he also brings a level of level-headedness to the team, especially on the offensive end. And I think that we kind of urgently need that. So it's been super helpful, and he obviously gives me a ton of confidence when he's complimenting me on my play style or whatever it is, pumping me up before the games.
That's cool, man. That's really cool. It's also cool, that you almost have to remind yourself, right, that's my buddy, but he's also Rob Pennell.
Yeah,
that is
exactly.
Really cool. Aidan Carroll is with us next Sunday, July 5th. PLL and WLL All-Star Games in Annapolis. Tickets available now. Aidan, I've been meaning to ask you, have you and Emmett done 23andMe or Ancestry or something to try to figure out, It's so random the way that it ends up working out. Have you attempted to dive in and be like, oh my gosh, we've got the same 17th cousin once removed somewhere?
We haven't. We're trying to start the rumor that we're long lost brothers.
I like that. That's a good bit.
But no one's bid on it yet.
Oh man, we got to work on that. We got to. We're gonna. Are you okay if we just start lying about it? Like if at some point.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
That'd be awesome.
We'll do that moving forward. Aidan, you mentioned like urgency. It's interesting to me because obviously, as much success as you found, clearly last year was a little bit of a disappointment for the team. Coming into this year, how much of that did you feel from this group? That like that isn't going to be our story. You guys had a hell of a weekend in Baltimore. I know probably the worst time for a 2-week break that you could have imagined after that. But like how much of that urgency did you feel from this group to say that's not our standard? We need to be better than that coming into this year.
Yeah, I think that there's a huge sense for urgency coming into this year. Coming off of last year, I don't think we had a terrible year, but there is a lot left on the table. And like I mentioned, Rob, there's a number of other guys that their years are numbered, and just for a younger guy, I'm sure that a few other guys are thinking the same way. We want to make those last few years special for those guys, and having that sense of urgency just in the back of your mind, but just coming into every game being really aggressive, really assertive, realizing that these seasons go quick. These games are really quick. Even offensively, the possessions are really quick. So having that sense of urgency and in practice, and then when you get to game day, the same sort of thing, it is huge and vital for our season.
It's wild because I look at your guys' roster and I just say, like, they should just be killing everyone. And then part of that is I just forget that, like, there's 8 teams. Most of the rosters are this loaded, right? Like, that's just there is no week where you're like, this is a team you should definitely go out and beat easily, because there's just so much insane talent. But how much do you guys feel that, like, that when you look around at all of the pieces you have, you should be competing to win the championship this season?
Yeah, I think that if you look across the league, I mean, there's 19 players on game day, 8 teams. So every team is stacked.
Yep.
And when you think about professional sports, you don't necessarily think about practice and focus on the details and preparation. But that's kind of what this league has become. The margin of victory is always really close. So the teams that win and win consistently are the ones that can focus on that level of detail, and recognize situations really well. And I think that's kind of what we're realizing pretty quickly. I think that in Long Island, we had a bit of a gut check, and it was because of that lack of attention to detail. So that's going to be kind of our MO moving forward. And I think we got away from it, but yeah.
We talk about the talent. Tell me about what Joey's brought, how he's assimilated into your group. We all know that the talent is unbelievable, but how quickly did you realize, this is just going to work just fine for us?
Yeah. I remember obviously watching him in college. My brother is playing at Georgetown, so they went up to the Dome this year, and I was like, this guy's absolutely killing it. And then I kind of took a deep breath when we drafted him, and I was thinking, at least he's on our squad. But he's such a good all around player, and I know from experience that it takes a few games to get adjusted. Obviously, he got off to a really hot start at Ridley, but he's only going to get better and find kind of his niches on the field. Great vision, obviously, a great shooter, just kind of all around really good player. So he's someone that can kind of melt any role that we need him to. But he's not only just a great player, great teammate, great guy to be around in the locker room.
You obviously, part of that is you end up moving to midfield, right? And I remember like talking about it with Rob, and he was like, "You have no idea how much this is going to do. Like, you have no clue how good this is going to be with Aidan." For guys that never are going to play this sport at a high level, is it as easy as maybe some might describe it to be? what is the adjustment like, and is it something that you're excited about? Like, can you walk me through just making a move like that as a pro?
Yeah, I think that especially so for lacrosse now, it's relatively positionless. So attack is generally behind the cage, but you're dodging from up top constantly.
Yeah.
But in the PLL, the shot clock's a little bit shorter, so you have to attack from up top as a midfielder, and you're dodging short sticks and sometimes long pulls. But from the midfield, you're not dodging against those long stick defensemen as frequently. So in my mind, it makes it a little bit easier on me. And then the second thing is you just have to get back in defense a little bit, so you get caught on defense when there's a turnover, a shot goes out of bounds. So being prepared for that is something that I've kind of take pride in. I used to play basketball, and I was always towards my junior and senior year of high school, I was more of a defensive threat than anything else, and that's I take pride in my defense. Still not the best guy out there, but so being prepared for that a little bit more this season, so changing up my training a little bit to focus on that.
I wondered at all, and you tell me if I'm going the wrong way, but I wonder if it also helps with maybe playing some sixes. And of course, we all know there's this thing that's out there that's pretty significant. Everybody's watching the World Cup right now. We know what it would be to put on red, white, and blue here in a couple of years. Like, does it help at all with that and the thought of maybe playing some sixes at the highest level here in a couple of years?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think a little bit in terms of getting back on defense.
Yeah.
Is the biggest portion offensively, and sort of keeping up your cardio and that sort of thing. But offensively, I don't think we really know yet how the Sixers offense is going to play out, what format it's going to be. I'm sure it's probably going to be more similar to a box lacrosse indoor style offense than it is a field style offense. So I think the biggest similarity is being able to play both sides of the ball. We'll see. I haven't played a ton of sixes yet. Played a little bit in Japan, but outside of that, I haven't really played a ton. So we'll see how it translates.
Is it something that you're hoping to do? Is it something that you've been thinking about at all?
Yeah, I mean, I think anyone who's 1, 2, 3, 4 years in is really thinking about it. Obviously, playing for your country, whether it be the world team or the Olympics, is kind of the highest honor in the sport. So I think everyone has that in the back of their mind.
I appreciate that, man. Aidan Carroll, again, this weekend, obviously the priority is the Outlaws, and then next weekend it's going to be an awesome celebration of lacrosse and our country, 4th of July weekend in Annapolis for the PLL and WL All-Star Games next Sunday at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. It's going to be an amazing weekend. Aidan, where can everybody be giving you a follow on social media? Where are you at? You're not like on Twitter, really, are you?
No Twitter. I'm just on Instagram at Aidan Carroll 2.
Aidan Carroll 2. Give him a follow there. Dude, it's an awesome, like watching you play, it's just incredible. Really a special thing. Appreciate you taking the time for us, man. Best of luck, and looking forward to seeing you in Annapolis, all right?
Thanks a lot, Glenn. Thanks for having me on.
Aidan Carroll with us here on GCR again next weekend for the All-Star Game. Bummer that I will not be around, be away, but it should be a great weekend, and both games on Sunday, back-to-back, so your one ticket will get you both, the PLL and the WLL All-Star Games next Sunday. It's funny because earlier this week I brought up, and maybe it was with Bruce Murray yesterday, I brought up how good the group stage has been with the move to 48 teams, that it's given you a few more really good underdog stories. Like, if you couldn't, dude, I was almost moved to tears by the Ecuador thing. And I don't have nothing. I don't think I've even ever known anyone from, no, that's not true. My cousins, my aunt and uncle, briefly had an exchange student from Ecuador when I was a child. She was much older. She was very pretty. I had a bit of a thing. It was a little uncomfortable for me.
So you love the Ecuadorians?
Her name was Soledad. I remember this.
My buddy's girlfriend is Ecuadorian.
There you go.
And he never watches anything, and he was texting me all throughout the match.
Dude, how could you not be swept up in that? I'm telling you, I was at the gym, and I had to get off the elliptical for a second because it was just so cool. Like, it was so, like, the coach jumping into the crowd, like, it was
Fabio,
Yeah, Fabio. It was scenes, man. So I do think it's been good for that. It's created a bit more underdog stories and teams that have a chance to get through and what getting through means to them. And you kind of forget about the fact that, hey, everybody's getting through. Like, you're not all that, you don't get swept up in that part of it.
Iraq's not getting through.
I understand not everybody, but Turkiye is not getting through.
No, they're not.
Despite the fact that they beat the U.S. But I think the flip side, which I hadn't thought about, and it's relevant because we're watching France-Norway, which, to be fair, kind of crazy. France jumps out to a 2-0 lead. Norway scores just a couple of seconds later. This should be like your showcase, marquee, the world is watching type of match. But right beforehand, you found out that Holland wasn't going to play, and that's because why? You said, well, shouldn't they be going to win the group? Well, what does winning the group get you? How different really is the opponent? And maybe, like, tomorrow, if you can look at it tangibly and say, well, if we win, we play so-and-so. If we lose, we play so-and-so. Then maybe there is some sort of thought of, like, we should definitely go for it. But certainly in the early portions of this, if you know you're through, how different really is the path going to be? How much does it really matter if we go through? It's not like in the NFL where you're playing for home field advantage or something like that. You're playing to potentially change who it is that you play in the first round, but knowing that after that you're basically just going to be playing all the same teams. So is it worth the risk, any risk, of your guys getting hurt or yellow cards or whatever it is, to put them out there for the third match?
So the runner-up of this one gets Ivory Coast. So the loser of this match,
and the winner
gets the third place from DF or G. So again, anyone, yeah,
man.
Who's in DF and G?
So is it really?
That'd be the U.S.
Ivory Coast has looked great, right? And like they've looked really good. But that's sort of the point. Is like, does it really matter? And I think we're going to see more and more of that. So is the trade-off for, what I've liked about the 48 teams, which has been you have more teams, more countries feel like they're into it. You have more sort of embrace of these smaller countries and what it might mean for them to get through, a Cabo Verde.
Yeah, so it could be like Paraguay, I guess. The winner of this could get Paraguay. Like, that's...
Okay, I would rather play...
They're all tough matches.
I would rather play Paraguay than Ivory Coast. I would, but is the difference in those two things worth any risk of Holland being out there and potentially getting hurt? Or any guy that you have that's sitting on a yellow card?
Well, France just scored again.
All right. Is it worth it? And I think it's easy to say no. It's not worth it.
And then I guess, is there travel? Like, how much is I guess it mattered to Canada, like that, Canada's match, because they could have stayed in Vancouver the whole time.
Oh, right.
So for them it mattered, but like, so the loser of this game, they go from Boston, they have to go to Arlington for the runner-up.
There's some travel. So, and where's the winner?
The winner, it feels like the winners have been like.
But I also don't know where these teams are based. Like, I don't know where their base camp is either.
Right. Yeah. The winner goes to East Rutherford. So
yeah, that seems close. But if their base camp's in Nashville or whatever, then I just don't. I'm sorry, I'm not following close enough to know where everybody's base camps are. Then it maybe isn't as significant and not something that you're thinking about all that much. I don't know. I don't have the answer to all of that, but it just sort of seems like
France is their base camp is Boston. So
there you go.
They're
seems like it's probably worth it to them.
Bentley University in Waltham, Mass.
To want to stay in the northeastern corridor of the United States. Where's do we know where Norway's?
They might have been.
Camp?
Were they one of the ones that was like Chattanooga or something?
Were they? Where they?
Somebody was in Chattanooga.
There was definitely somebody in Chattanooga. Obviously,
Greensboro is Norway.
Greensboro, right. So are they all that worried about staying in the northeastern portion of the United States?
Yeah.
Probably not. it's a bummer because, like, today, again, this on paper should have been blockbuster, and then the win comes out of the sales, which doesn't mean it's unwatchable. Griffin and I still both wanted to watch it when it turned on. It's just not blockbuster the way that it could have been. It's more like Hollywood Video at this point, I think. I dated a girl that worked at a Hollywood Video. I spent a lot of time at a Hollywood Video. There was one in Perry Hall. I think it became a Spirit Halloween like they all did. I don't know what it became after that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it turned
out. Oh, yeah, Hollywood Video. Okay. Vaguely remember.
In fact, this might be a straight
What year
shoot.
did they seize all operation?
2009.
2010.
Damn, I was right there. Right there. The girl that I dated that worked at the Hollywood Video. The Perry Hall Hollywood Video did not make it to 2010. I can assure you. It was gone before 2010. I don't know exactly what year it was gone, but it was gone in my youth. It was gone. The girl that I dated that worked at the Hollywood Video might have also worked at the Spirit Halloween store that it became. She might have, and I don't know if it was just like she showed up and she was like, "Oh, we're a different thing now." All right, I'll do that then. I don't think it was that, but I think that there's a chance that she worked both. What?
I just want trying to see if this is real. It looks like somebody. Whoa,
what?
It's like one of those. Oh, this isn't the Perry Hall one. Okay,
oh, for God's sake.
So they were going through an abandoned Hollywood Video apparently, and it was it was like dark and there's just old VHSs everywhere.
That's kind of wild.
Yeah,
that is
kind of
wild.
Cool.
All right, when we come back in, we will get a tidbit, we will get tubular, and we will wind things down for a Friday edition of Glenn Clark Radio.
This is Stan the Fan. You know we talk all the time about our O's stepping up in the big moments, delivering when it matters most. If you've been injured in a car accident anywhere around Baltimore, that's your big moment, and you need someone who delivers. That's why I'm here to tell you about Warnken Injury Lawyers. They fight for Baltimore families every single day. Insurance companies play games. Warnken plays to win. So call 443-RESULTS. That's 443-RESULTS, or go to warnkenlaw.com. When you need results, it's right there in the number, 443-RESULTS.
Your car is more than just a ride. It's an investment. At Leading Edge Auto Body in Mount Washington, we've spent over 20 years perfecting the art of repair. From high-end imports to your trusted daily driver, we handle all makes and models with elite precision. Our team holds the highest honors in the industry, including ASE Master, iCar Platinum, and specialized aluminum certifications. We make it easy with free towing, pickup, and delivery, because at Leading Edge, customer satisfaction comes first. And remember, with insurance, it's your car and it's your choice. Choose the experts. Leading Edge Auto Body. Quality you can see. Service you can trust. Go to leadingedgeautobody.com today.
When you feel invisible, exhausted, stressed, or anxious, when you have days that just feel too hard to get through, you are not alone. If you or someone you love is struggling with mental health or problems with drugs or alcohol, help is right in your hands. Call or text 988 to get support whenever you need it. Help is here. Call or text 988. Brought to you by Maryland Department of Health.
The stars are shining brighter at Live Casino this summer. Celebrate America's 250th with $1 million. Earn entries daily July 1st through August 29th and snap a pic with our game board for a chance to win $100 in free play every week. We'll draw 50 free play winners each Saturday and $1 million winner on August 29th. Light it up at Live Casino. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The latest edition of Pressbox is available now. On the cover, Dave LaMonaco profiles Orioles play-by-play voice Kevin Brown, looking at his rise as an amiable mainstay and one of the top voices in all of baseball. Also inside, Antonio Barbera looks at whether the championship window is narrowing for the Ravens veteran core, and our special travel section with a look at sports tourism options throughout Maryland for you and your family to enjoy this summer. Pressbox is available for free at over 250 locations throughout the region, including your Baltimore area High's Dairy stores. Plus, you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
You wanna, and now your Orioles lineup is brought to you by County Sports Zone. CountySports.zone is where you find everything you need to know about high school sports. CountySports.zone, proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com. Now, to bring you your Orioles lineup, here is Griffin Bass.
Leading off, playing left field, Taylor Ward. He will be followed by the shortstop, Gunnar Henderson. The first baseman, Pete Alonso, batting third. Doing the DHing, designated hitter today, Kobe Mayo, batting cleanup. Is it a lefty on the mound?
It better be, otherwise.
Yeah,
what the hell?
Tyler O'Neill it must be. Tyler O'Neill's in the lineup as well, playing right field, batting fifth. Samuel Basayo back in the lineup, relegated
it's
to
Andrew
sixth.
Alvarez, that's right.
And then Leody Taveras in center, batting seventh. Jackson Holiday returns to the starting lineup, playing second, facing a lefty, I guess.
Oh.
And then Blaze Alexander at third, batting ninth, with Trevor Rogers on the mound.
Against the Washington Nationals, who, as Mike Bordick pointed out, cannot close a game.
Okay.
Can't do it.
Or is that a Phillies thing or is it a Nationals thing?
Definitely was a Phillies thing for sure this week. Every game. To be fair, the Orioles couldn't close a game the other night, so we'll see. Andrew Alvarez, Trevor Rogers today. We'll get into it coming up in Tubular. I feel like we've covered everything, and also I'm going to a show tonight, so we're gonna get out of here. Griffin wants to go get into the splash zone, so we're bolting. Let's get a tidbit. Tidbit is brought to you today by the Stan the Fan Variety Hour. If you missed Stan and Kenny Singleton earlier this week, you can find it Facebook.com/PressBoxSports, YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline, or PressBoxOnline.com/video. All of Stan's shows brought to you by Warnken Law, as well as the Costas Inn, with two great locations, the OG in Dundalk, the new one in Timonium.
Mookie Betts homered for the 300th time in his career yesterday. Was it yesterday or Wednesday? It was this week. Mookie Betts hit his 300th home run.
It's adorable that you asked like I would know.
He now has a defensive WAR of 18.6. He also has 197 stolen bases in his career. He is one of 5 players with a D-WAR of 10.
Breaking news. The CFL said no.
Really, to Sorsby?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's tough.
You
still think Towson's in play?
Yeah.
You still think?
Yeah.
What about Stevenson?
Yeah. Maybe, yeah.
What about
Go
Stevenson?
to either. McDaniel, maybe?
A new coach. Got Coach Haig. I don't know how he's going to feel about it. We'll see.
Well, you can't bet on Stevenson games. You can't bet on. So
that's true. It's a good point.
Yeah, so maybe they do have a better shot than Towson does, because there are at least
lines. What was that? The league where like the bit was somebody famous played in it. The bit was like you were supposed to be the fans called the plays. It was an arena league. It might have been something that Johnny Manziel did at some point, or maybe Antonio, like someone attempted to play in this thing.
The FCF.
Is that fan-controlled football? And who was it? Was it Johnny Manziel? Somebody significant.
I don't know.
Hang on a second.
Was that like AB or something? And
what fan?
Or that was Arena League that
played in the FCF.
FCF. Good for
Johnny Manziel.
All right. What was he doing that for?
Why would you ever doubt your boy? I knew what day Mookie Betts hit that home run. I knew that Johnny Manziel played in the fan-controlled football league. Why do you ever doubt me? Why do you ever doubt anything that I say?
It was Wednesday that he homered, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew that.
Yeah.
Obvious.
He's the 5th player with 300 home runs, 150 stolen bases, 10-plus defensive WAR. Only 5 players.
Ever?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. 300 home runs. How many stolen bases?
150.
It's not overwhelming. How about...
And a 10D WAR.
A 10D WAR.
Mookie is at 18.6. For reference. I don't know if that helps at all.
It does not.
I'll just keep saying things.
Yeah, right.
Mookie plays for the Dodgers. They just got beat. They
well,
lost a series to the Orioles.
Thank you. It's funny because I say that But like the first couple of guys that I'm thinking of, I'm like, no, he probably didn't get to 300. Like I was thinking Roberto Alomar, but he probably didn't get to 300 home runs.
All the other guys on this list have at least 400 career home runs.
All of them have at least.
I say all. The 4 others, yeah.
Career home runs. All right, Alex Rodriguez.
A-Rod just barely makes the cutoff with a 10.2 defensive WAR.
Sounds like he's on the list.
But he did hit a lot of home runs, and he stole 329 bases.
Like I was thinking that it had to be infielders because of the defense, but I guess you could.
2 outfielders, 1 more infielder.
2 outfielders. Willie Mays.
Willie Mays is on the list, an 18.2 D-WAR, so Mookie's got a higher D-WAR than Willie Mays.
Hank Aaron.
No Hank
Aaron. How about Ken Griffey?
No Ken
Griffey. Barry Bonds.
Not Barry Bonds.
I mean, you wouldn't think like the defense, but
think
early in his career, he was a much more complete baseball player than you.
Let's see what Barry Bonds' career D-WAR was. 7.6. Bum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that far off, man. How about Carlos Beltran?
No Carlos Beltran.
There's still another outfielder, though.
Carlos Beltran only a 1.9 D-WAR.
What a pathetic loser. What a pathetic loser.
The outfielder.
I actually did not realize he was that like mid.
The outfielder is. I want to see what I can say without like a very, very good defensive outfielder.
Very,
very good
defensive outfielder.
Very good.
Andrew Jones.
Was that too much? Did I give too much away there?
Maybe.
But yeah, 24.4 D-WAR for Andrew Jones.
And another infielder. 300, 150. Another infielder.
Hit 548 home runs in his career.
An infielder who hit 548 home runs in his career. Infielder. It's not Miguel Cabrera.
It's not Miguel Cabrera. He's stealing enough bases. Let's see what he might have fallen short in both.
No, I don't think he was that much of a defensive. I did Mike Schmidt.
Mike Schmidt is the answer.
You forget that Mike Schmidt really, because people compare Mike Schmidt to Brooks Robinson. Brooks Robinson obviously was not a home run hitter. But, like, Mike Schmidt really was a home run hitter, man. You forget about that.
548 homers, 174
I would not
steals.
have been certain that he would have gotten the stolen bases, but, like, it's not such an outrageous number of stolen bases. He had a long career.
Andrew Jones just barely made it because he had 152 steals.
How about that?
But yeah, Mike Schmidt at 18.4 D-WAR. Miguel Cabrera's D-WAR negative 11.
Yeah, he was not. It was not. That's why I said it's not Miguel Cabrera. All right, let's get tubular.
Have you ever thought of taking a cruise to these wonderful destinations with sunny skies and beautiful beaches? Well, wait no longer. We're ready for you to cruise from the Cruise Maryland Terminal.
Have a little phrase that you can go from baggage to margarita in about 15 minutes.
Choose fun with an array of destinations, onboard activities, entertainment, and world-class cuisine.
Contact your travel agent and book your cruise today. Let your adventure begin.
Here's what's coming up. Are you all right?
Also, only how many stolen bases Miguel Cabrera have in his career?
Now, the way you said it, 10.
More than that.
Okay. 20.
He averaged 2 a year
for 17 years. 34.
No, he played 21 years apparently.
Really?
40 stolen bases
40
in
stolen
career.
bases. Yeah, I mean, he was not a.
Just
Remember,
I said just an awful guess.
I said it wasn't Miguel Cabrera. I knew that it wasn't Miguel Cabrera.
But you said it anyway.
I knew that. I was trying to come up with an infielder that had hit 500 home runs. God. Piss me off.
What's coming up?
Good weekend. It's Friday. I want to get out of here. Nationals Orioles tonight on Masson at 7:05. Andrew Alvarez, Trevor Rogers. Tomorrow, 7:05 on Masson and Peacock with Foster Griffin and Foster Griffin. Or
No.
Bye, Leah. Have a lovely weekend, Leah.
Leah, did you know Miguel Cabrera did not steal 150 stolen bases?
Definitely knew that.
I had a -11 D-WAR.
Foster Griffin, Brandon Young tomorrow at 7:05. Tomorrow is a 7:05 game, which is
For the
annoying.
Gunner thing, I guess?
I guess I have to do pregame tomorrow, so it means it's kind of screwing up my whole day.
Get to do.
Yeah, thank you. Great point. I have the honor of hosting Orioles game day tomorrow. I guess that means 5 to 6:30 on WBAL. And Sunday at 1:35, Zach Littell and Kyle Bradish. Today, obviously, Norway, France right now, Senegal, Iraq on FS1. The other two games on Fox, Uruguay, Spain at 8 o'clock, New Zealand, Belgium at 11. You effing better. I swear to God, Belgium.
What if they don't get through?
Look at me. Look at me. I'm the captain now. I know you can't really look at me because I kind of have a lazy eye. Like, I understand that makes it very difficult. I can't even really, focus. I can't ever look anyone dead in the eye.
You think you had any saves while during Vanzella's training thing? I don't think you
Not a chance in hell. I might perish.
Do we all get to take shots on you too?
No. No.
I do.
Yeah, you think you do?
Well, if I'm
You're
gonna have to take
film
video,
it.
yeah.
That's a
So
good point.
if I'm there.
Yeah, hey, you're not safely out of it just yet. You calm down over there. You don't know
All right.
Belgium's about to go on a hell of a run until they face the U.S. in the round of 16. And then they're getting their asses kicked. And then I don't care. Tonight on FS1, Cabo Verde and Saudi Arabia at 8, Egypt and Iran at 11.
Stecker wants to know why that game's so late.
What game?
That
The 11 o'clock game?
Yeah.
You know what, Stecker? Try me. Because it doesn't make sense. 3, 8, and 11? What the F is that?
They didn't want to overlap too much with the Oriole game.
Is that what it is? Couldn't play them at 3, 6, and 9? 3, 6:30, and 10?
Why was the U.S. playing at 10?
Why was the U.S. playing at 10 on a Thursday? How does that make sense? Oh, my younger son, or my older son, texted me yesterday from his grandmother's phone, thinking that the game Straight Shoot was at 10 a.m. Texted me yesterday morning, what channel is the game on? I said, buddy, the game's at 10 tonight. You're not watching it.
Maybe that's why they lost. 'Cause they didn't have his support.
I had actually suggested to my wife, let him go. Tell him to go to lay down at 7 after dinner. They take a nap. They can wake up. I'm home in the morning tomorrow, so you don't have to deal with them. I've got them. They can sleep in. All's good. She was like, no, I don't want, because everything is eternally around her schedule. Like, that's the way that our whole house
seems fair.
He did the bit at legitimately 9:58 where he's like, Dad, I can't sleep.
Like, oh, that's all right. The U.S. game's on.
How
you fall for it?
How interesting. I'm like, what am I going to do? I didn't think he needed to. It's the summer. Nothing matters. He has no meeting to make, so he crashes today while he's playing video games with his buddy. Life's going to go on.
No meeting.
Yeah, what the hell? I vehemently oppose. I said to her, I'm like, Margaret, what are we doing? They're out of school.
Maybe if you're trying to get them on Africa time, maybe that would be the.
Yeah, there is no. I mean, we're losing a day. There's a day.
What time is it there?
That isn't going to exist. I think we figured out that it was 8 hours ahead of us, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So I don't know. The Orioles are going to be playing at 4. Oh, we got to work on
7 hours. 10:53 right now.
We gotta make sure you're good to do man of the match. Yeah, we got to make sure that's.
So you're saying we need a test run this weekend?
Yeah, you might need to do a practice man of the match. Well, that requires they have to win a game.
That's true. That's true.
For that to be the case, that's the reality. NHL draft round 1 tonight at 7 o'clock on ESPN. Of course, the number 1 pick you have.
I'll take Connor McDavid.
There you go. Good call. I hear he's good. Tomorrow, Whipsnakes and Outlaws 4 o'clock on ESPN. World Cup tomorrow. Panama and England at 5. Tomorrow it's 5,
That's the first
7:30, and 10.
They're just cramming them in.
It's the most truncated I've ever heard. No time makes any sense. Tomorrow, Panama and England at 5. Colombia and Portugal at 7:30. Jordan on Argentina at 10. And then on FS1, Croatia and Ghana at 5. Congo, Uzbekistan, 7:30. Algeria, Austria at 10. On Sunday, we get the knockout round underway, 3 o'clock on Fox, South Africa and Canada. And, that's that. That's that. Non-sports.
A couple good ones here. We got on Netflix, Little Brother. which I know you're excited about. Going to be John Cena. John Cena has the perfect life, a great job, loving family, blah, blah, blah. His little brother.
4 o'clock.
His little brother. What are you talking? Let's
move on.
This is something you're excited about. Eric Andre crashes his
This
life.
is the one they did the bit. So Eric,
they were plugging it.
No, they didn't. They did a bit at they did a premiere where Eric Andre accidentally had his a tuxedo caught in the car door and ripped off of him, and then he was walking around in his holy tighty whities. It was totally.
Come on, Eric Andre,
that just happened.
That doesn't sound like Eric. He would go full nude.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, he did get his ass kicked. I thought it was because I assumed that meant he was in the Jackass movie because he was in the last Jackass movie. I can't. Jackass has been such a significant part of my life. It's very difficult to explain.
Such a significant?
Yeah, okay. It's really hard to explain why Jackass has been.
Of course.
Like, Paul Valley and I went on a date to see the last Jackass movie together. We went at like 12:30 on a Friday.
Nice.
We had a great time. I remember Paul walking in. He's like, "I hear there's a lot of penis in this one." I'm like, that sounds about right. There's 2 dudes sitting around watching a movie with a lot of penis.
I don't know why Jackass was on MTV last night. I switched over to after the soccer
match.
I was like, I gotta fall. I need to go to sleep.
This is a dumb one. My recent, if I don't need to watch, if I can just put something on in the background to be agreeable. Like you used to have when I had regular TV, you just do that with reruns. Like you'd figure out who's
Seinfeld,
showing it,
whatever,
The Office, whatever it was. I've been just doing that with. I realized at no point in my life did I ever watch that 70s show straight through because it was just again a show that you would watch that 70s show is perfect. I mean, it's a perfect television show, but you never did a watch of it because why would you do that? So I've been using that as my if I'm doing something and I don't need to have my attention on it.
Some people would say turn the TV off. I guess that would be.
Drake said that. No. Well, Drake should have said that. Obviously, I meant K-Dot said that.
Kendrick.
Yes, Kendrick, of course, said that.
Life, Larry, and the Pursuit of Unhappiness.
Oh, this is the new
HBO.
Larry David
the
show.
Larry David
this
thing
is a Sunday?
No, it's tonight,
what?
apparently. HBO.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll watch it.
Yeah. From the executive producers Barack and Michelle Obama.
Yeah, that's I think, a thing.
Yeah. So, like John Hamm, I think Seinfeld's in a few of them. Yeah, and Larry David is just a historical figure in a 7-episode sketch comedy series. Yeah.
Okay.
Celebrating America's 250th.
I watched they did Hulu did a History of the World reboot as a show a couple years ago. I feel like Nick Kroll was a big part of it, and it was fun. It was more fun than
I like the drunk history thing. I think
drunk history
funny.
was always good. Yeah, I agree.
So I think and it's Larry David. So
it is Larry David. We good?
Yeah. House of the Dragon Sunday night. John Oliver as well. Yeah.
Oh, I meant this. The reason why I brought up Jackass is because apparently the premiere was last night, and Bam's parents showed up, Phil and April Margera, and I have, as I've talked about quite a bit on the show, I have such sympathy.
They seem to like it.
Oh, they loved it. And it's awkward because Bam and Johnny have never re-healed their relationship. Bam, I guess everybody says is healthy and sober and doing better now, but he's not in the new one. He wasn't. Apparently, he's in it only in flashbacks. But they wanted to be there and seeing them hugging with Johnny Knoxville. I was like, oh,
gotcha.
I got a little. It hit me. It's like, damn, man, that's been a much bigger part of my life than I want to admit that it is. All right, yeah, shut up. We did 2 hours. I'm not happy about it.
You're welcome, John.
Yeah, that's what it is. All right, very good. Thanks today to Aidan Carroll. Thanks also to Eno Sarris and to Mike Bordick. We'll get it up in the greatest hits section of the
Sunday night, the BET Awards, hosted by
Eric Andre.
I wish Drewski.
Actually, you know what? I wish I like Drewski. Of all the internet personalities in the world, Drewski is the one that actually entertains me. His sketches are usually pretty on point. I mean, some of the stuff he does is obviously not for me, but the sketches that he does, the mega church pastor sketch, dude, that was funny. I can't lie. That's just a funny sketch, man. So I don't hate Drewski at all. I think he's good. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Tab at GlennClarkRadio.com. I wouldn't go to the BET Awards tour. Well, actually, I don't know. Who else is at the BET Awards? I might go to the BET Awards.
Everyone,
tour.
right?
We're not doing this. Thanks to everybody at Pressbox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Live Casino and Hotel, the Baltimore Orioles, the Costas Inn, Merriweather Post Pavilion. I'll see you there tonight. Baltimore area High's Dairy Stores. What?
You go. Living Legend Icon Award, Miss Lauren Hill.
Oh, yeah, I go. Anybody else?
Icon of the Year Award, Tiana Taylor.
I like Tiana Taylor. I do.
Ultimate, I don't know how it's different. Ultimate Icon Award, Sylvia Roan. I don't know if I'm familiar with their work.
This is where we don't say anything.
Oh, okay.
Is that it? Okay, very good.
I think that's it.
Leading Edge Auto Body, Warren Law,
Cardi B.
1-800-GAMBLER, helpmygamblingproblem.org, cruiseMarylandCountySports.zone, the Maryland Department of Health, your local Toyota dealer, and buyatoyota.com.
Olivia Dean got a nomination for something as well.
She's awesome.
Cardi B has 6 nominations. She leads all the noms.
The Mrs. Stefan Diggs, sort of, we think, still. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Future Ravens fan, Cardi B?
Potentially.
Yeah.
Monday, we're back on normal time.
Yeah.
We're doing Monday and Tuesday next week. I don't know if Tuesday is going to be normal time. It actually might be a little bit earlier because I got stuff and things to do. Do we have anything for Monday? Why would we?
Orioles sweep.
Yeah, why would we?
Maybe we'll be smiling. Maybe.
Is my thumb supposed to go like that?
It's like a genetic thing.
Is it?
Yeah, we talked about it in like 7th
Did
grade
we?
bio, doing our Punnett squares.
I've
and
never
it's like,
really noticed.
It's I forget what it's called, but yeah, it's like.
Does yours do it?
No, mine doesn't. Mine goes straight.
I'll be damned.
I'm normal.
Yeah, is that what it is? I feel like I'm Brian Baldinger.
He's got finger going that way.
It's wild. All right. We'll see you on Monday for a normal show or a normal us show. Have a great weekend. Go Orioles, go Whipsnakes. Duke sucks.